Okay, let's jump right into this explainer. Think of this as your executive briefing on a massive structural shift in how we build technology. If you're a non-technical entrepreneur, someone who's always had these brilliant app ideas, but maybe lacked the hardcore coding chops to actually build them, this is exactly what you need to hear. We are looking at a paradigm shift in software creation that doesn't just change the rules, it kind of throws out the rulebook entirely. It's called vibe coding, and it's allowing founders to build incredibly complex software without writing a single line of traditional code. To really set the stage, we have to start with this striking vision from former OpenAI co-founder Andrej Karpathy. Back on February 2nd, 2025, he actually coined the term vibe coding and laid out this entirely new philosophy. He told creators to, and I quote, fully give in to the vibes, embrace exponentials, forget that the code even exists. It sounds a little wild, right? But what he literally means is you just describe what you want in plain English, the AI writes the code, you test it, you fix any issues just by talking to the AI, and then you ship it. So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Embracing the vibes. 2. Not just another no-code. 3. The exploding AI market. 4. The vibe coding hangover. And finally, 5, why you absolutely must review. Let's start with Section 1, Embracing the Vibes, Redefining the Developer. To really grasp what a game changer this is, let's look at the official definition. And by the way, this resonated so widely that Collins Dictionary actually named vibe coding their word of 2025. They define it as a style of computer programming where a person describes the problem to be solved in natural language to an AI tool, which then generates the code. So instead of spending years grinding away learning complex syntax, you just tell the AI what you want, like, hey, filter this array to only include active users. You speak English, the AI handles the entire technical implementation. The whole workflow essentially boils down to these 4 incredibly simple actions: see stuff, say stuff, run stuff, and copy-paste stuff. That's the whole shebang. It completely bypasses traditional technical training. You see a problem, you just say what you want the solution to be out loud or in text, you run the generated code, and you copy-paste the results. You're iterating and guiding the AI rather than typing out the logic yourself. Now, what's truly fascinating is who is actually adopting this. Look at this. A staggering 63% of people doing this are non-traditional programmers. We're talking founders, researchers, designers, domain experts. Only 37% are your traditional software developers. This really marks the end of that era where building software required a computer science degree. It's turning millions of non-coders into creators who can launch applications in seconds. Moving on to Section 2, not just another no-code, owning your product. So you might be thinking, well, isn't this just like Webflow or Bubble? No, they are fundamentally different, and this is a critical distinction for your tech stack. With traditional no-code platforms, you are entirely locked into their specific ecosystem. If they go down, you go down. But vibe coding gives you actual, real, portable source code. You own the artifact. You can take it and host it literally wherever you want. It's real, runnable code that belongs entirely to your business. Let's jump to Section 3, the exploding AI market, a rapid acceleration. For this to happen, 3 things had to align perfectly. Models had to get incredibly good at coding, the generation loop had to be super fast, and the tools had to make that loop incredibly tight. By late 2024, thanks to powerhouse models like Claude Sonnet, that all came true. The result? An absolute explosion. A $4.7 billion market formed around vibe coding by early 2026, with over 110,000 developers searching for it every single month. As a founder, you care about real-world impact, right? Well, it's all about leverage. We are seeing reports of 3 to 5 times productivity gains. That compresses your idea to prototype timeline from weeks down to, literally hours. To put that into perspective, 60% of all new code written in 2026 is AI generated. This is unprecedented leverage, letting you test ideas at blinding speed. If you're skeptical and want proof of how serious this is at the elite levels of startup building, just look at Y Combinator's Winter 2025 batch. A full quarter of these highly vetted startups have codebases that are 95% AI generated. 95%. They are fully leaning into the vibes to build faster and leaner than ever before. But we need a reality check. Section 4, the vibe coding hangover, the hidden dangers. Okay, before you bet your entire company on this new superpower, you absolutely have to look at this alarming data from Vericode's 2025 Gen AI Code Security Report. It shows that 45% of AI-generated code contains security vulnerabilities, almost half. Sure, 55% was secure, but rolling the dice on a 45% failure rate is a massive, massive risk. You simply cannot afford to blindly copy and paste when real customer data is on the line. To break that down further, check out this specific assessment from December 2025. Across just 15 test applications built using these vibe coding tools, security researchers uncovered 69 distinct vulnerabilities. Because of this blind trust, engineering teams are suddenly inheriting these unmaintainable AI-generated messes. It's becoming so common that the industry has coined a term for it, the vibe coding hangover. The issue is that there are strict complexity limits. Vibe coding is basically magic for a simple data model. But the moment your app scales up and needs multi-tenant systems, or granular role-based permissions, or complex business logic, the AI starts to struggle hard. It ends up producing bugs that are nearly impossible to trace because the underlying architecture wasn't thoughtfully designed by a human brain. Which brings us perfectly to our final part, Section 5, Why You Must Review Becoming the Architect. Despite all the hype and those massive productivity gains we just talked about, here is the ground truth. 72% of professional developers who use vibe coding still primarily write the code themselves when it comes to actual production work. Only 28% are relying entirely on AI for production environments. That tells us something crucial. While AI is an unbelievable prototyping tool, human oversight cannot be replaced yet when your app is live in the real world. So what is the ultimate takeaway for you as a non-technical entrepreneur? It's this. The best vibe coders use AI as a tool, but they remain the critical architects of their own systems. Think of it like this. You don't have to lay every single brick yourself anymore. The AI is happy to do the heavy lifting, but reviewing those blueprints, understanding what is actually being built, and knowing when to step in and fix the code is absolutely essential to avoid those massive security holes. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to chew on as you start planning your next big startup idea. Will you blindly trust the vibes, or will you step up and be the architect of your system? Vibe coding has literally democratized software creation, tearing down the technical walls that used to stop us. But make no mistake, true success is going to belong to the founders who learn how to manage, secure, and critically review the AI that builds it. Thanks so much for joining me as we unpacked all of this, and I hope you feel ready to go out there and start building safely.